knowing when it is appropriate to use our divine feminine energy, when it is appropriate to use our divine masculine energy. It just so happens that we need to see the physical embodiment of this in order to understand it as a society, to remove the prejudice, to remove the misogyny, to remove the idea that men are supposed to be a particular way and women are supposed to be a particular way. This is shaking the foundation of how people think and feel, and that is exactly what is meant to happen.
Welcome to the Akashic Recordings. My name is Annette Deleu. I'm an Akashic conduit, channel, and spiritual guidance coach. What you will be hearing today are real sessions with my clients. All names have been changed for privacy, and of course, with their permission, we are privileged to hear these beautiful stories to allow us a small glimpse into the Akashic Records. If you would like to book a session with me and be part of the podcast, please feel free to head to my website at infinitesoullove.com. When you book your session, just make sure to check the box that you would be interested in having your session utilized for the podcast.
For those of you who really wanted to sign up for Soul Discovery Workshop, I have great news for you. You can head to my website, and on the homepage, if you go to the little box that describes Soul Discovery Workshop, there is a button there that says sign up for the waitlist. I'm currently in session with Soul Discovery Workshop, and I will be running another one later on this year. So if you want to be in the know and want to be the very first one to sign up for the next session of Soul Discovery Workshop online, feel free to head to my website at infinitesoullove.com. Go to that homepage, click sign up for the waitlist, and send your email, phone number, as well as your first and last name. And I will make sure you get that registration email as soon as the next course is ready to launch. In addition, you will get a discount code for the early bird sign up. So if you are interested, head over there now. This is part 2 of Corrinne's session. And this session is one that was recorded 1 year, almost exactly, from the last session that you heard last week. We are talking about different subject matter in this particular session, but you can see and understand the progress that Corrinne has made over the course of this last year. We are going to discuss her relationship with her children, what their relationship is on a soul level. We discuss why transgender people are pioneers for the divine masculine and divine feminine energy connection within all of us. We also discuss towards the end the connection that she had with a beloved pet in a previous life. And we check in on why their connection is what it is and if their connection will continue in the future. How long were you there?
In Paris, I think it was like a year and a half. It was broken up because I would come back to the States.
Are you back in the States now?
Yeah, I'm back in the States now. I just had this feeling that this is where I needed to go, and I always go with my feelings. And I've made some beautiful, beautiful friendships, and my dating life is thriving, and yeah.
Incredible.
I wanted to be close to my nieces and my dad and kind of heal that wound and all the fun things.
Just on a personal note, I also have been feeling like Paris is it's such a tough city. It's such a tough city. And people don't believe me when I say that. It's not
what you think.
It's not what you think. It's not like hearts and roses and romance everywhere. It's a tough city. I think a lot of light workers are being called back to the US.
Interesting.
Because it's needed. The healing is needed on many, many levels. The awakening is speeding up, like all of these things are happening. It's actually pretty amazing how many people I've heard have moved back to the US within the last 6 months.
I'm kind of on my own healing journey where I'm trying to channel like my mediumship and hone in on that as well.
Yeah.
So, because I do want to serve. I want to serve people and help people. And I feel like Paris was one of those places where I learned how to heal myself,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like I did. I feel like I accomplished that really, really well. Now it's like, okay, what's my next chapter? And I'm like, spirituality. It's my spirituality. It's going more to the next level. I felt it from my head to my toes. It was this overwhelming feeling. And Paris is always going to be my happy place. And I think it's because of my past life there. We talked about that in the first one. And it was my happy place back then and it's my happy place now, but I think I went there to achieve something and it was achieved, and then it was kind of like I went with my gut on, you're not supposed to be there anymore. And
Yeah.
when you're on the right path, you are guided in the right direction by all these wonderful things happening to you. And
Mm-hmm.
since being back, I've had some amazing, amazing things happen to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that I'm on the right track. I know this is where I need to be. So,
Right.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are you wanting to cover today?
I think last time we didn't get to chat about my kids and my family and those contracts. My daughter is somebody that I really want to talk about, and also my son, mostly my kids. I know this might sound strange, but I really want to know my relationship to my pets too, because I feel a very deep connection to them.
I'm laughing because this has just recently started to come up for me in
Uh-huh.
sessions.
Uh-huh.
And you're now like the third person to ask me about their pets now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So maybe I should put this on my website as a service now, because this is what
Yes.
this is what I'm doing. The last one, the woman had booked the session literally just to
Talk about it.
talk to her two dogs and her two horses. And that's all we did
Oh
the whole
my
session.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, you definitely, I mean, it is a sign, I feel like. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I have some past grandparents and then an auntie who passed away about like 10 or 11 years ago. They've come to me in my dreams a couple times, but my Grammy Barbara hasn't. And that's, to me, that's unusual because both other grandparents and my aunt, they've all come to me in my dream and said, hey, I'm okay. But my Grammy hasn't. And so I just want to see if she's okay and
Mm.
if there's anything that I can learn about what she's going through.
Okay.
Those are my big ones. I do see my birthday number a lot. And I don't know if you talked about this on one of your podcasts, but because I've literally been like binging them.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I have. Yeah, I love them so much. I've referred like all my friends to you because I'm like, you need to see her. And so,
Oh,
but
thanks.
yeah, I just see my birthday all the time and I don't know what that means. Like, because it's not one of those like 444 numbers. It's like unusual and I see it everywhere. And so I'm like, what is going on? So
When is your birthday?
April 29th. So it's 429.
So we'll take a look at that as well. What I would like you to do is, if you don't mind, putting your kids' names as well as your Grammy's name in the chat. So when I get to that point, I can refer to that.
Sure, sure. So my children, do you want their birth names? Because they both go by something different these days.
Are they nicknames or are they full, like
No,
that's the name they go by?
that's the name that they go by now because
Okay.
they're both trans. So
Yes, please. So the name they go by now.
okay.
Yes. That is an important distinction. Okay, so we can certainly take a look at that in terms of the relationship you have with your kids. They want to help you make sense of the feelings that you're having and the experience that you're having. Okay, so your root chakra is looking really, really good. I'm seeing it blossom very beautifully. Yeah, looks great. Okay, so then let's move into the sacral chakra. I feel like your sacral chakra is like, it's like it's twisted in knots. This doesn't have to do with a past life. This has to do with transition. It has to do with where you are right now. And it's like it was previously twisted in knots, and where you are now is what you're untangling.
Yeah, because I think the last time it was dead. You said it was dead.
So it's not dead now, which is great. It's just now you're untangling all of the energy of it so you can start to function fully in the sacral chakra. Okay, is there anything that we can do to help support her in the untangling of that? No. It is something that she just needs to go through. It's just a process. Okay. I'm hearing 2 years. It'll take about 2 years to fully untangle everything. And they're saying that it's not going to be a hard process. It's something that's going to be fun. The more light and energy you're getting in your sacral chakra, that's the more creative energy, more sexual energy, more divine feminine energy. Each little bit of untangling you do in that chakra is going to give you a little more brightness, a little more courage, a little more happiness. What you're trying to do in your solar plexus is you're trying to move forward in a way that is aligned with your new self. And being back in the United States, you're trying not to fall back on old patterns or old habits or old things. And you're just being very mindful about how you're moving forward. That's where the trepidation is coming in. It's like you're taking baby steps and you're making sure that everything that you're doing is aligned, and you're checking in and you're making sure that, okay, yes, this is what I'm meant to do. This is where I'm meant to go. All of those decisions that you're making are aligned for you. And so you're just kind of making sure that that is what it is that you are meant to do. The one thing that I'm seeing is that you had an open heart towards the tail end of when you were in Paris. It's almost like your heart energy was reaching out and nobody was receiving the energy. You were reaching out, reaching out, reaching out. And it was like you were this big, glowing, beautiful light. And everybody else was like black and white. Everybody else was like gray. And you're trying to reach out and nobody is connecting to you. But now you're opening your heart and people that you're connecting to are actually connecting to you back. And that feels really, really, really good. Like I'm just seeing like tendrils of energy reaching out and then tendrils of energy reaching out to you and them connecting and having that be just this beautiful connection. And what they're showing me is a little metaphor of what it's like in your crown chakra right now. And it's almost like you're a child running through like a field of grass, laughing and jumping and just having a great time. And that says to me that it's a new discovery for you. This is a new energy that you are in your crown chakra, and you're just having fun playing in it. You're having fun playing in this energy. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I'm actually, as I'm closing my eyes, I see this yellow. Usually I see a blue pulsing eye.
Mm.
And this time I'm seeing it's like yellow and it's like waves. It's like a wave of yellow, which is different than anything that I've seen when I meditate.
Yeah, it's a great playful energy. It's lovely. Let's move that energy down into your throat chakra. There's some hesitation there too. They're showing me it's similar to the solar plexus chakra, where you are hesitant to speak sometimes. And it's mainly because you are trying to find the right words that are aligned that you want to speak. It's really beautiful to pay attention to how you're communicating and that you're communicating in a new way. You will have confidence soon though. It's not that this is going to take forever. It's like the trepidatiousness is just sort of getting adjusted to the new place, new life, new people, new friends, new everything. You're just trying to step into who you are without any fears. And there's some trepidation in that at times. And that's okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be my highest self and not speak from ego, I think.
Here's the thing is that there's nothing wrong with ego. Ego can serve us sometimes. It's just a matter of how we are using it, okay? And how it comes up. It also depends on what type of ego we're talking about here too, right? What they're showing me is like you're trying to not match people when they are in their ego.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're in their ego, meaning that they're not connected to their heart space, they're speaking solely from the intellect, from the mind. They're not actually heart-centered. Oftentimes, it is hard to respond to people who are not in their heart space when you are in your heart space. It's almost like a disconnect, like they can't understand what you're saying. It makes no sense to them because they can't feel into it. Because speaking from your heart space is a feeling. It's not a thought. You can't put rationality to it. It's just something that you feel or you don't. When those types of things come up for you, where you come across people who are, let's say, responding from the mind and not from the heart, and I actually prefer to say it that way as opposed to ego, because that's essentially what it is. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that they're speaking from the mind. When that's happening, you do have a tendency to match them sometimes, but it's okay. It's okay to meet people where they are, because if you were to start speaking from the heart and saying all these things that this person doesn't understand, it doesn't serve a purpose, if that makes sense.
I completely understand.
Unless you're feeling super guided, which sometimes that can happen, where maybe you need to plant a seed somewhere. Maybe seeds need to be planted for this person. Even if they don't understand, then yes, go ahead and do it. But otherwise, it's not something that you need to worry about. Okay.
Okay.
I want to thank Akula, my Akashic guide. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Archangel Metatron and Archangel Sandalphon for being here as well. Today, we are opening up the Akashic Records. Thank you. Okay, so they're saying we're going to go to your kids first. Are we going to be looking at past lives between her and the kids? Yes. Okay. Can we take a look at one that might be pertinent? No, we're not going to look at any of the lifetimes. For her, we're going to be looking at the connection between the three of them. Okay. He's part of your soul family. You have not incarnated with him many times simply because you have had different connections. You've had different jobs. You've had different reasons for being on this planet. And it wasn't until a few lifetimes ago that you decided to start incarnating together. Chakra is going to give you, you have been incarnating with her for hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes. She's somebody who has helped you through many, many things over the course of all of these lifetimes. You have been pretty much everything you can be to a person. You have been mother-daughter, you've been father-son, you've been the child, and she's been the parent. You've been all the combinations of family that you could be. Whereas with him, you have been very particular, you both have, about the particular lifetimes that you incarnate in together, because it is for a very, very specific purpose. So what is the purpose, please, if you can tell us? Yes. It's almost like he has a very analytical mind. He does things, and this is in a soul way as well. Like his soul is almost very matter of fact, very analytical. I'm hearing he's the keeper of the rules. What does that mean, please? I've never heard of that. The keeper of the rules is a soul group, if you will. There are many of them. There are soul groups that essentially keep the balance of this planet in check by the rules that are applied to the experience that we all have. They add rules or take away rules based on what is needed at the time in order to help the planet ascend. They are not universal laws as such because they do not apply to the entire universe. They are more rules that are applying to the experience only here on Earth. So they are earthly rules, if you will. And they have to do with energetics. It's not about what you are meant to do and that you have to do this or have to do that. It's not about that. It's about how the energy operates on your planet. For example, one of these rules that you still abide by and will continue to abide by for quite some time is that you will not instantly manifest, because instant manifestation would create disaster everywhere. There always has to be a lag or a delay, if you will, if not for a few minutes, but a few days or even a few years. There is also the rule that things will manifest no matter who you are, what you do, you're always manifesting. It is a constant, but there is always a constant delay. As you ascend, this delay gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and you are able to manifest more quickly, more easily. But this takes a lot of self-control in order to not manifest the shadow versions of your thoughts and your feelings. And that is yet another rule, which is in order to manifest your thoughts, your feelings, and the soul of your being have to all agree on something before it manifests. And that is almost a fail-safe. Your son has been one of these beings that allows these rules to exist. They anchor in the template of these rules and allow these rules to be in place. And your connection with him over the past several lifetimes that you've had with him has been to impart you with these rules so you can understand them and know where you can shift and change them for your own personal use. And this does happen when you reach a certain level of ascension where you can know the rules. And once you know the rules, you can know how to maximize them, if you will, use them to their greatest potential. And so your son is giving you these codes, these rules, and has been working with you for quite some time in doing so. Okay. So then the connection between her and her daughter, it almost seems like both your kids don't have a connection to each other on a soul level. Their only point of connection is actually you, because your daughter has been, because you've had so many incarnations with her and had so many different lessons and learnings and everything else. Like it's just a totally different dynamic. And it feels as if you are closer to her because of that, but it feels much more stark the difference between the two of them because of the fact that you have had so many more lives with her.
I feel that.
So they're saying don't feel like you're a bad mom. Don't feel like there's anything wrong with your connection with your son, because it literally just is a soul thing where you just haven't been incarnating together very often. And so because of that, you don't know each other very well on a soul level. That's the distance you might feel, is just simply that. In addition to the fact that he really does have like I said, a very analytical, very straight and narrow kind of rule-based mind and rule-based soul energy. So it's like, that's basically, you're going to feel that too.
I do already.
Uh-huh.
I'm just laughing because of recent stuff that makes me laugh. Very follows rules very, very, very strictly.
Yeah. But that's just his soul energy. So it's like, he's so used to that. It comes natural to him. It's actually one of his superpowers.
Okay.
I can see you saying to him something to the effect of like, look, you don't have to follow every rule to the T. Like, they're kind of guidelines sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, but this is the rule,
Yeah.
You can teach him to relax a little, like you can teach him to not be so rigid in the rules, because yes, rules are meant to be as guidelines. They're not meant to say, well, you can only do this and this. Look at what we're talking about here with the type of soul that he is. It's like he's giving you these templates in order for you to use the rules to the maximum. It is bending the rules a little bit.
I always thought that he was like my mother in a past life or a father in a past life. Seriously, because so bossy. It's so funny.
That is so funny.
I know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It all makes sense now.
So that's your connection to both of them.
And
I'm hearing you are very confused and you want to know how they are both transgender and they are both the opposite genders. Let me see what the records have to say.
Okay.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Okay. They are the pioneers. Wow. Okay. People who are what you consider to be transgender on this planet are the pioneers of the new energy. The new energy, which is balanced in divine masculine, divine feminine energy. These energies need to be anchored in, and every single person on this planet needs to understand that they have both energies within them. And it matters not whether you were born a female or born a male, it matters not. Every single being has that energy, that divine masculine, divine feminine energy within them. Yes, of course, some souls have a soul signature that is more predominantly masculine or predominantly feminine. But for the most part, everyone has a balance. You might find that in this particular period of time on your planet, you have more and more transgender folks that are coming to your consciousness, to your knowledge. And the reason for this is because they are ridding this world of the stereotype of what it means to be masculine or feminine. The gay community has started this work years and years and years and millennia ago. But now it's time to start to turn all those energies on its head so everyone can understand that it is okay to have both energies within them. So these people have chosen these experiences in this particular lifetime where they are transgender in order to anchor in the opposite energy of what they were born into. It is doing a great service to humanity and helping them see and understand the energies within all of us. Now, every single trans person will have sort of a different soul job based on what their individual soul needs to do on the planet. There are plenty of indigos who are trans because it lends itself to fighting for justice and fighting for what is right. They are not only the pioneers, but they are the people that are forging forward in the new energy in spite of anybody saying to them that they cannot. They are the fighters. And we don't mean that in a combative way. We mean that in a way that they are fighting for the energy that they rightfully belong in. It is part of their path. And the more energy that is anchored in this way, the better it is for our planet. You will see, as more time passes with both of your children, you will cease to see the gender they were born in, and you will come to see the balance of both within them. You will come to see the gender that they have transitioned into without fail. The transition for you in this energy is simply something that is within you. As a mother, this is a difficult shift for most, and mainly because we have these visions or ideas of what our children are going to be like. We project far into the future of what we imagine for our children. And when it turns out that our children are something different than we had imagined, it requires a bit of course correction in the way that we think about them, in the way that we move towards the future with them. So one thing we would ask you to do, we would ask you to be in the present moment with them, shift and change as they are shifting and changing. Be in the flow of the river of their energy as they're moving along. Try not to project too far into the future. Try not to be in a space of judgment, but be an observer. There are some people who transition from one gender to the next, and even so, they might still transition even more from there, where they might come back to a more neutral point where they are neither dominantly masculine or dominantly feminine. That 0 point is what we are all striving to get to within our energy. We don't all necessarily need to embody that physically, but we want to be that energetically, knowing when it is appropriate to use our divine feminine energy, when it is appropriate to use our divine masculine energy. It just so happens that we need to see the physical embodiment of this in order to understand it as a society, to remove the prejudice, to remove the misogyny, to remove the idea that men are supposed to be a particular way and women are supposed to be a particular way. This is shaking the foundation of how people think and feel, and that is exactly what is meant to happen. Thank you for that. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I mean, it was spot on. It was like you took the words out of my mouth about the curiosity, I guess, around it. Like, in a way, I feel really blessed that they both came to me, and I feel like they came to me because they knew that I would love them and accept them no matter what. I feel really grateful. You said something about indigos, and I didn't know what that was.
So there are different categories that we have created here on Earth for various different souls. I don't know all the categories, but I do know that there are certain categories like indigo children, rainbow children, crystal children.
Okay.
Indigos are not necessarily born in a particular time frame. It just so happens that there were a lot of indigos born 30 years ago. It was actually, in fact, 35 years ago. There were a lot of indigos born between that time and within 10 years of that time frame. So indigos will be between the ages right now of 25 to 35. That's not all indigos. It just has to do with the fact that there were just a lot of them that came in at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have an indigo that is younger than that. You can have an indigo that is older than that. Indigo souls are souls that are here to change things. They're here to create change. They're here to shake things up. They do have a tendency to be very right and wrong, black and white. Things need to be this way or that way. They are rooted in duality. However, they are here to break out of duality. When you're trying to effect some sort of change, and let's say something has been the same way for many, many eons, the antithesis of that needs to come in to show the balance. And that's what indigos do. They come in to show the antithesis of something, the contrary of something. And so you can see where the imbalances have existed for so long. Rainbow children and crystal children are completely different. They are different types of energies. And we don't need to necessarily go into that because neither one of your children are.
Okay.
So then we're going to check in on your grandmother. It's a simple explanation. In fact, when we don't feel our loved ones after they cross over, most of the time it's because they are not meant to stick around to be your soul guide or your guardian, if you will.
Okay.
Most of the time, if we have loved ones that cross over that we're meant to connect with. They will often hang out until we cross over in order to help us with the transition, in order to help us get acclimated because they are familiar to us. It is a necessity once our soul leaves the body to have some semblance of familiarity on the other side to help escort the soul over to the other dimensions, because it is a jarring experience to have the change in energy between being on Earth and not being on Earth. Oftentimes, we will have our loved ones stick around. Now, as it pertains to your grandmother, she was not one of these people that needed to stick around to help you, because you're going to have many other people that will help you. There are other people in your family that have other people that helped them. And so for her, she just crossed over. She did what she needed to do with her life review, with her healing, and sort of shedding that earthly coat, if you will. And she made her soul plan and she reincarnated right away.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah. So she's already living her life in another body.
Okay.
That's why you can't feel her.
That makes sense then. Because
Mhm.
yeah, both of my other past relatives, they both have come to me in dreams and told me that they're okay. And then I never saw them again.
Oftentimes, if you don't see them again, it's because they're up in the higher dimensions that we can't reach.
Mm.
If you consider the fact that the Akashic records are in the 9th dimension or 9D, there are much, much higher dimensions than that. So once our loved ones get to those higher dimensions, they have to lower their energy to come down here to chat with us.
Mm.
They can't chat with us from the higher dimensions. It's too big of a discrepancy in energy. When we don't feel or see or hear our loved ones, it's because they're in the higher dimensions. You can always ask the other grandparents, like if they can give you a sign when they're back down in this energy, and they will.
Okay.
They'll probably give you that
Okay.
sign. I'm not
All right.
getting that either one of them are incarnated at this time, but they're getting ready to, but they're not there yet. Okay, so then you had some questions about your pet.
Yeah, or my birth number that I keep seeing everywhere.
We can do both.
Okay. She's a cat.
She's a cat. Okay.
Yes. I've never loved cats before, and I don't know, I just feel really close with her.
Have they had past lives together? They have. Okay. This is the first time you've had her as a cat, though. I'm seeing her put her paw on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
She's very nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
She's very loving.
Mm-hmm.
And she has been for you for quite some time. Okay. She's not a spirit guide, but she has an old soul for a cat, which is interesting, meaning that she has been various animals, but she has gotten really, really, really good at being like a supportive animal for you. I'm seeing that she runs around and she gets a little crazy sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that makes sense though. Because she's being supportive, she's helping you transmute energy. And like when she helps you to transmute the energy, she needs to run around and get it out.
Mm.
She can't hold on to that energy for you. So she needs to somehow get it out. And that's why she can like turn on a dime, and it feels like she'll like go from being loving and supportive and then like just
Psycho.
lose her mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything that she can do to support in that transmutation? Do you know how to do Reiki?
No, but that's something that I'm really interested in.
It is something that you can do maybe every week or every few days. Ask the angels to clear any energy.
Mm.
Because she is taking on a lot of your energy and a lot of the things that you have been dealing with. So you can ask the angels to clear her. You can clear her yourself. And that's something you can do to support her. She will actually calm down quite a bit if you start doing that.
Okay.
Are there any past lives that we need to look at between the two of them? Yes. Okay. She's been primarily a dog for you.
That makes sense.
That's another reason why she is the way she is in the cat body, because dogs do transmute energy, but not as much as cats do. Dogs are almost like anchoring in that beautiful light energy, keeping things light, keeping the energy light. Cats are like the shadow work of the pet world. Cats have a tendency to take on a lot more energy to transmute than other pets. That is their job. It's part of the reason why people find cats to be standoffish sometimes, because cats don't want to transmute energy of people that they don't want to transmute. So they'll just walk away from you if they don't want to have anything to do with your energy. If your energy sucks, they're going to be like, get away from me. Like, get away from me. Like, you're not my job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing you. She was a really shaggy dog. Not a huge dog, but maybe medium sized, but very, very shaggy. You loved her very, very much. She just kind of wandered into your life one day. I'm seeing you're at a house that's standing alone. It looks like it's a farm of some sort. I'm seeing wooden fences, and this dog just sort of wandered in, and you couldn't understand where this dog could have come from because there's not a lot from miles away. But the dog was in good shape. It wasn't like it was malnourished. So it clearly had been either fed or had been eating well. Oh, that's really sweet. She was looking for you. She was finding you.
Oh.
Like she knew that she needed to find you and your energy. So like she was wandering around finding you. She was born into a different family, but she left that family. And I'm hearing she did travel quite a distance to get to you. And you were a child at the time. Pets have a tendency to be much more connected to their souls than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a better idea of what they need to do when they get into their bodies, and they have a much more direct communication to their souls. So her soul told her that she needed to leave the family she was with, that they had served their purpose, and that it was time to move on, to move and find you, which she did. You did nurture and care for her until the end of her life. When she died, it was like you had lost your best friend, and she didn't return to you in that lifetime, in that particular lifetime, because she knew that you had grown a bit too dependent on her. And you needed to go out in the world and be more of who you needed to be without her. You had another dog later on in that lifetime, but it wasn't the same. And it's interesting because I am seeing that you really only get to have each other once a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes with this type of soul connection, you'll get the pet multiple times in a lifetime. And that's not the case with her. She only comes once a lifetime for you. And that's because she has a tendency to know that you do get dependent on the unconditional love and the affection and all of that. And so it's just a separation in order to make sure that you're both staying on your path. How old is she now? Is she quite young?
Yeah, she's still a baby. She's like 7, 8 months.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's still working out the kittenness. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
She's still great though.
Especially with a soul as experienced as hers. She has experienced all of these things in being in different pet bodies, but like it's always challenging for the souls in the younger years because the instincts of the collective soul of animals just kind of take over. Even if the soul wants to do something in particular, like the instincts of the animal just kind of take over, and then they have the zoomies. So there are parts of things that are definitely based on the transmutation and the soul, but then there are some things that are actually led by just the animal instinct. She might find herself doing things that she's like, why am I doing this? You know, and the reason why she's doing it is just because she's still, like, all animals are still somewhat connected to the collective soul of animals, just like we're all still connected. Even though we're individualized souls, we're all still connected. So there are certain behaviors that we're always going to carry.
Annette, one of my pictures just moved.
Oh, which one?
There's this really beautiful, it's like a naked woman. My friend made it for me and I have it on the wall and it just started swinging. There is nobody in here but me.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me see what that's all about. Is that her guardian angels? Yes. They're just letting her know that they're there. Oh, okay. Is there any message? Yes. They wanted me to know that you have a message. Okay. Got it. Does this have to do with the birthday message? It doesn't. It's a different message. Okay. So what is the birthday message when she keeps on saying her birthday numbers? They're showing me a plane. Were you planning on traveling for your birthday?
I usually am somewhere for my birthday.
Have you decided on the place yet?
No.
I'm hearing that you might want to consider being around loved ones for your birthday, as opposed to just maybe going off and spending it with maybe just yourself or maybe one other person. How could you spend your birthday with all of the people that you love? I'm just feeling like if you were to travel somewhere, it might feel a bit empty.
Yeah, I've had birthdays like that.
Maybe do a birthday thing where you are, and then maybe just a few days after your birthday, then maybe if you want to travel, like go travel somewhere, right? But make sure that you're spending the time, and I'm getting chills right now, making sure that you're spending the time with the people that you love and that love you. I don't know why, it just feels very important for you right now.
Okay.
I'm just hearing that you haven't had that in a long time. How does that feel for you?
It feels right. I mean, the last few years I've been in Paris and it's been very lonely. And I have some very beautiful friendships here that I'm really enjoying their company. So it would be nice to have like a birthday with all my friends and loved ones.
Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to let her know about her birthday? No, that is it. Okay. So then what is the message that her guardian angels, have for her today? We wanted to introduce ourselves. We know that you are very well acquainted with us, but we wanted to officially give you a little hello. We understand that you have been working with us for quite some time, but you have yet to have a physical channel like this from us. And we wanted to give you this opportunity to hear some of the messages that we have for you right now. We are in a place of allowing you to make your own decisions and to move forward with your life the way that you so choose to move forward. So you may not be getting a lot of guidance from us at this time, and that is by design. You are meant to forge your own path at this moment and see where your path takes you. Follow those steps that the universe sort of opens up for you each way you go on this path. It's not that we are not here. We are here to support you 100%. And we will be here to guide you if you happen to step off your path. But as you ascend and as you move forward, your path actually gets bigger. So it's not such a narrow path anymore. It's a larger path. And there are much more opportunities for you to do various things that you want to do. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things that you really love to do. And if you're uncertain, just feel free to go and explore those things. You don't have to worry about stepping off your path because you are in a place now where it will be more difficult for you to step off your path than it is to be on it. So take that information and rest assured that we are helping you, that we are here, that we love you, and that we will definitely give you signs like we did with your birthday if we feel like you're going to be going on a path that won't serve you. And that is why we were giving you this message about traveling, because we really wanted you to feel the love of your community and your family for your birthday. Is there anything else? No, that is it. Wonderful. Okay, thanks. I'm going to close the Akashic Records. Thank you so much to Akula, my Akashic Guide. Thank you to Archangel Metatron and Archangel Sandalphon for being here as well. Thank you for that beautiful channeled message. The records are closed. The records are closed. The records are closed. Thank you. Okay, how do you feel?
Good. I feel like there's clarity, you know?
Wonderful.
But it's nice to know that my angels are here because I feel sometimes that they're not.
Yeah.
And I know that I have them and I know that they're around and I see things and I see lots of numbers, angelic numbers and stuff, but it's kind of nice to know that they're kind of letting me do my own thing.
Yeah, and sometimes it can feel a little bit lonely if you're feeling like you're out in the wind with no direction. That's because you can choose. You have the choice, which is great. Amazing. All right, my dear, I'm sending you tons of love.
Thank you. Same. Likewise. Thank you so much and
you.
have a great holiday.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. All right.
All right, bye. I would like to thank Corrinne for her participation in the podcast. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So there were several things that came up in this session that I feel we need to discuss. One of which is the definition of crystal, rainbow, and indigo children. These are titles that we as humans have given a particular type of child and or adult. It could be an adult as well. And it has to do with their particular goals or their missions on this planet. They have a tendency to be a group of people born at or around the same time. And by same time, I mean within decades of each other. So there could be a 10-year span of indigo children that are all born around that time frame that are able to transmute certain energies. They are here to champion for people who are underprivileged, underserved. They are here to stand up for people who cannot stand up for themselves. They are the energy of Archangel Michael, if you will, that energy of standing up for somebody, protecting them. Indigos are these energy. And as it is said in the session that These labels are certainly just labels that we have placed on these people because it is something that we need to be able to understand or categorize a particular group of people. And while it isn't necessary, it does help us to understand what our roles are and why we're here. Labels can be limiting, but they can also help you expand into who you are meant to be. So as a definition for these types of people, I would like to connect into the channel to identify what exactly are rainbow children and crystal children. Crystal children are named as such because they are anchoring in that crystalline light. They are anchoring in the templates and the frequency of the higher realms. These particular souls come from the higher realms, and most of them have not spent much time on this planet. Their energy fields have been preserved, if you will, and have been purified in many different ways before coming here to incarnate on Earth. It is so they can help with the ascension process of Earth herself, in addition to all of her inhabitants. It is paramount that these crystal children and adults are able to exist on this planet. This is good news for the planet as well, because if the planet hadn't ascended to the space and frequency that it has, these crystal children would not be able to exist on this planet. Their frequencies are too high to exist on any frequency that is lower than it is currently. Crystal children were born roughly between the years of 2010 and 2020. Now, it's not to say that crystal children have not existed prior to that. There are other crystal children who are in various frequencies who were able to come to the planet before. Maybe these other crystal children have had other incarnations on the planet, in which case it allowed the energy to be able to exist on this planet. When you have incarnations on this planet, it does lower your energy to an extent, and it allows you to have a more grounded experience on this earth. Some of those crystal children were necessary to be the bridge between the people on earth who have not had this type of crystalline light within their energy field and the purer forms of crystal children. There are ways in which this energy anchors in, and most of the time it is through physical contact. It is through contact in their energy field. So if you have given birth to a crystal child, it is likely that you yourself are on your spiritual journey or have ascended to a particular level of ascension where you could exist in this crystal child's energy field. If you are somebody who has not ascended to a certain energy frequency, you will not be able to be in the vicinity of a crystal child. The ability to be in a crystal child's energy field if you are in lower energies is just not possible. So you will be repelled by that particular person. Crystal children are not here to fight or stand up for anyone else as indigos are. They are here to help anchor in those higher energies. Rainbow children are described as such because they are, in fact, all of the frequencies, from the lowest frequency all the way up to the highest frequency possible on this planet. They are able to go deep into their shadow and go high up into the highest point of their intuition. They are incredibly adept at things like Reiki or energy healing. They are incredibly adept at reading energies and intuitions. These particular children, these rainbow children, are typically born with their spiritual gifts completely unlocked, and they're completely aware of them. Whereas most children do have their gifts, they forget them very quickly upon speaking and integrating into the human world. Whereas rainbow children, their powers, so to speak, increase as they get older. They will continue to get more powerful as they get older. We want to make certain that you understand that when we say these terms, crystal child or rainbow child, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are children. Many of them have grown into adults at this point and are moving through their lives, fulfilling their soul and life purposes. It is a common term that people use, and therefore that is the term that we are using. Rainbow children have been born at all periods of time. They continue to be born at all periods of time. Unlike crystal children and indigos, they have not had necessarily a period of time where a great many of them have incarnated. Rainbow children continue to incarnate and anchor in all of the levels of frequency in order for people to understand what it is they need to do in order to come into their most powerful gifts. Often rainbow children or rainbow people don't even understand that that's what they are. They just simply do what they do, whether it is energy healing or connecting into crossed over loved ones, mediumship work, whatever it is that they do, they are just simply doing it. This is something that is important for all of you to hear as well, is that there are times when you don't need to know your soul or life purpose in order to fulfill it. Sometimes you just live it. That is often the case with rainbow children. I have a question. So if rainbow children are more intuitive and their powers grow stronger as they get older, wouldn't they inherently know that they were a rainbow child just from the sake of their intuition? They might know exactly who they are on an energetic level. They wouldn't necessarily label themselves as such. As it pertains to the session that we had today, when we were talking about Corrinne's children incarnating in this lifetime, one of which is an indigo, and both are transgender, do those things have anything to do with each other in terms of being an indigo and being transgender? They do go hand in hand oftentimes, where if you are an indigo and you are a soul that is going to stand up for underserved people or people who are a minority of some sort, indigos often incarnate as that minority in order to be able to rise up within that struggle. If you are not accepted by a society, if you are not given the same opportunities, if you are being shown that you are not worthy by other people in your community simply based on your race or your gender, then indigos will often incarnate as these people in order to be able to rise up, in order to be able to move these people out into the light, to be able to have the same privileges, the same energy, and the same love as everyone else. In the session, one of Corrinne's children was indigo, but the other one wasn't. So does that mean that the other child is not meant to be a pioneer, so to speak? That is correct. They are not meant to be a pioneer, but in fact, just the fact that they incarnated as transgender means that they are anchoring in a particular energy that is having to do with the balance of the divine masculine and divine feminine in physical form. So they are still contributing to that overall goal, but they are not necessarily the fighter, so to speak. Correct. All right, that makes sense. Thank you for that. Let's move into the rules of the planet and manifestation. One of Corrinne's kids is a keeper of the rules, and that is something I have not come across in a session before. Do you have any other information for us about somebody who is a keeper of the rules? This is something that you have experienced many times. You have seen this over and over again in templates, people who give templates or upgrade templates. A keeper of the rules is someone who holds on to certain templates, collective rules that you as a planet have agreed to. And essentially the keeper of the rules will energetically anchor those into the experience. They have changed over time. So there are times that these rules have shifted, in which case the keeper of the rules will, in fact, change those templates or shift and change those templates based on what is needed. Understand that the rules of the planet and the rules of the universe are different. Manifestation is a constant in the universe, as it is here on the planet Earth, although the rule that is in place is that there is a delay. So you can see how these rules shift and change based on what is necessary. Given the lower energies of planet Earth, it would be as we said, catastrophic if manifestation was instant as it is in the higher realms. In the higher realms, it is possible because we do not have the lower energies that you do on this planet, thereby manifesting more low energy things. So these rules are written into place in order to keep balance on this planet while you ascend. And by you, we mean the entire planet. So there are many people who are the keeper of the rules. It wasn't just Corrinne's child. There are many all over the planet. Okay. Is there any other information you would like to share with us about that? No, not at this time. Okay. So lastly, I would like to talk about why pets incarnate with us. We took a look at one of the past lives that Corrinne had with a beloved pet. And this is something that I am starting to get more and more requests for. So if you're interested in getting a bigger picture of what your relationship is with your pet, feel free to head to my website. I have just recently added the ability to have a session just about your pets. So feel free to head to my website and you can see in the drop-down menu for the choice of sessions. The Akashic session for your pet is there in the drop-down menu. The reason why we incarnate with certain pets is because they are our energetic helpers, if you will. Sometimes they can be spirit guides. Sometimes they can be higher level beings. Sometimes they can be more advanced than we are. It just depends on what is called for. Our pets are what help us anchor in unconditional love. It helps us in so many ways. Our pets can transmute energy, can help us heal physically. Our pets can help us in many ways that we don't even notice or see. They remember the past lives that they've had with us. They may not remember them consciously, but their soul remembers. And therefore, their connection with us is a constant throughout the lifetimes. So as an example with Corrinne, her current pet, who is a cat, was a dog in a previous life. And that can often happen where our pet will show up in a different pet body. And we also learned that her pet only came once a lifetime because there was a potential for codependency. Pets can teach us a lot about who we are. They can teach us a lot about where we came from and connect us to the other realms. It is more likely you will feel the energy of a pet and recognize the energy of that pet versus recognizing the energy of another human. They embody more of our divine nature. They embody more of that peace, balance, and unconditional love. When you connect with a pet, it is a special bond. And it is a bond that is created sometimes over lifetimes. There are times when those pets will, in fact, decide to incarnate as human, in which case they will depart that particular role from our lives. That doesn't necessarily mean they will leave our lives completely. They may decide to incarnate as human and continue being in our life. So you may have somebody in your experience who has been a pet in the past. You yourself have probably been somebody's pet in the past. It is part of the process of getting used to being on Earth. Oftentimes when souls first arrive on Earth, as we've discussed before, they will be rocks and trees and parts of the earth in order to get themselves acclimated. And then likewise, they will be animals. And then eventually they will be animals that are domesticated in order to understand what it means to break off as an individualized soul from a collective. And then they will move on from there. Not every soul has this trajectory, but a lot of souls do. And then there are the souls such as Annette's previous cat, who is a higher level being, which she found out is actually a part of her soul. How could the part of her soul that is a higher level being be part of her? That simply says that she is also a higher level being. We have often talked about the fact that she is one of the originals. And so as such, she is able to have her soul energy in various places at once. And this is how she is helping herself as a soul evolve and move forward. We will often make these types of decisions with our pets, with our connections, and decide to infuse a part of ourselves in our companions. You can tell the difference when a cat is just a cat and it's part of the collective soul of cats, and when that cat is an entirely different soul. Connect to the pet you have now. Feel into their energy. Ask them what they have to say to you. You would be surprised. They do like to talk to us telepathically, but it's not often that humans listen. Pets will incarnate with us for a great many reasons, most of which have to do with our soul growth and theirs. It is not necessary for you to know why they incarnate with you. Just know that there always is a reason. Okay, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm super happy to bring this information to you, as I feel like each one of these channeled messages, each one of these sessions are so important for us to understand and to anchor in the information for our higher purpose, for our higher good. Make sure you tune in next week for another brand new episode.
If you're enjoying this podcast, it would be really amazing if you could like, share, and subscribe. Wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Apple or Spotify, feel free to give it a review if you feel called. If you are following me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified for every single new episode of the Akashic Recordings. If you feel called to book a session with me, you can always reach me at infinitesoullove.com, and you can book direct